Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub Wednesday, June 16th. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, Dutch Boy Fresh with you today, ready to break down the Wednesday NBA card. Skee Prophet not with us today. No worries. He's back tomorrow with us. We are going to get into last night's game. We'll recap Milwaukee, Brooklyn. Crazy game 5. We'll look ahead to tonight. A huge game 5 between the Jazz and the Clippers. Lots of stuff to talk about there. But before we get into that, there's a lot of news going on in the NBA today. It's like, we've got Chris Paul now testing positive for COVID-19, Kawhi Leonard getting injured or not playing tonight. We've got coaches getting fired. Our pets' heads are falling off. Everything is happening. That's what's happening right now in the NBA. We got everything happening today. It's been a crazy, wild day. We'll start with Chris Paul. Obviously, the Suns are waiting their Western Conference Finals opponent between either the LA Clippers or the Utah Jazz. But now we're finding out that not only is he put in protocol, he's tested positive for COVID-19. And this is just an absolutely awful, awful setback if you're the Phoenix Suns, and certainly worries you about the finals moving forward. He's obviously going to be out indefinitely now for this period of time, but obviously potentially catastrophic news for the Suns. And to be honest with you, I don't know what you guys think, but I find it hard now to really feel good again about my Suns and winning the title without Chris Paul on the floor. I mean, he's been that impactful. He's the leader of the group, great at both ends of the floor. He's playing out of his mind good here in the playoffs. And look, you got by the Lakers, who are never on track at any point. You beat a Denver team without Jamal Murray. And now you're going to have to go into this next round against a damn good Jazz team or a damn good Clippers team without Chris Paul, at least for the start of the series, at the very least, if not the entire series. It's a huge blow to the Phoenix Suns. Terrible news. It's just the worst time possible to hear something like this. Dutch, I'm feeling blue. This shook me today, this Chris Paul thing. Not good at all for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, man. Real quick, shout out to my guy, Guillermo Zatucci. All our guys. G sent me this shirt. Marathon continues. Nipsey Hussle. Big ups, my guy. Salute to you and yours. I appreciate you. It's all love. And salute to everybody in the chat. Most definitely. Yeah, man, I woke up. I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt real good going to sleep last night. We'll touch on that in a minute, but I woke up a little salty. Shout out to my guy Turnsy. Yeah, it was not good. First thing I seen in the chat was, I believe Wham Bam hit me with Kawhi will not be playing tonight. And then I seen the ACL news and then the CP3 news. And it's like, wow, what the fuck just happened, man? I wanted to go right back to bed, to be honest with you. But, I'm hoping that, we might get 7 games out of this Utah series and, pray to the NBA gods that CP3 will be ready to rock and roll by game 1. I don't know how it's going to work, how long he won't. I believe it'll be like 8 to 10 days, most likely, I think. So we'll see. So we need this series to go 7 because I would hate to see the Suns on the court without CP3. The coaching, I don't really care too much about that. I honestly, personally think Van Gundy was, I don't want to say it was the wrong hire, but from the get-go, they have their roster. They were slowing it down from the get-go, playing half-court basketball with Lonzo Ball, Zion Williams, and Brandon Ingram and the crew. Yeah. Like, to me, you run that shit up and down. You try to get as many possessions as possible with Lonzo. I think he's the best at running and getting others involved. And, I mean, you got Zion Williamson. That's enough said. So, I don't mind I understand, Ian, it's rough after 1 year, but I think they just went in with the wrong game plan.
Yeah, and I remember them bringing him in for defense, Stan Van Gundy, and I didn't see any defensive improvement from the Pelicans. They were once again, actually at the beginning of the year, like in November or December, I should say, into January, they were not bad at the very first 10 games. And then the defense just was no good again after that, which was their problem last year with Gentry. They didn't play any defense under Alvin Gentry when he was there, and it really didn't get any better. And they thought it would with SVG as the head coach, and it didn't happen. So he's canned. Scott Brooks ain't back in Washington, so some coaching changes as well. Conor Mac, what's your thoughts? The coaching changes. Chris Paul out for the start of the West Finals.
Yeah, I feel with Van Gundy, it's kind of like they want to bring back Mike D'Antoni. Like, we need some new coaches. Quit with all this old shit. Van Gundy, recycle Van Gundy brother, all this crap. Let's get some new guys in there. It seems like when there's a new job open, these guys' names pop up. I need to get the old out, I think. That sucks for CP3. Let's hope, 8 to 10 days. Maybe he only misses the first game or 2. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see on that. But the Kawhi injury is the biggest. And what did Ian, you were in the Discord with me late night. We took the the Jazz plus 20.5, and then we're wondering, why is he in the game? They're up 16. Yeah. We're like, he's gonna get hurt. This is just horrible. And then he starts hobbling off at whatever it was, the 3-minute mark. Well, he's in there, and man, came back to bite him. I couldn't believe he was in that basketball game after they were blowing him out. And now he's out. It sucks. And PG, good luck, man. He's got to put it on him. So we'll see what he could do tonight. But I'm ready for the games tonight.
You know, it's an amazing opportunity for Paul George. Like, he can basically destroy the past reputation that he has of being a playoff choker, a playoff flameout, a playoff, disappointment. If he can take this team on his back offensively and carry them through Utah and beyond. But I don't trust him to do that. I just don't. Is he really that guy that has shown you the mentality and the mental fortitude and the makeup to be able to pull off shit like this? No. Because he's not giving you any indication of that. But if he does, he would, it would be obviously rewriting the narrative on him. He can't get it done in the clutch, but that's a huge if. I have trouble believing in him. I have trouble believing that he can get it done, but here's his opportunity. Starting tonight in Game 5, we'll see if he can make the most of it. And I said this on Twitter, and Connor mentioned it a minute ago. We were in the Discord the end of that Utah Clipper game the other night. There's Kawhi clearly hobbled, limping around, gimping around on that knee, not 100%. What is he doing in the game? 15-point lead with 4 minutes to go in the basketball game. Can someone explain that to me? Come on, Ty Lue. Shit for brains. Figure it out. He's your best player. You're going to win the game anyway. You're up by 15. 15.
Hey, it was like Tyronn Lue. It was like Tyronn Lue had -5 or something. He wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be a sweat for the cover.
Yeah, it was. I'm just like, this is. Yep,
they kept making threes and was cutting it to like 12, 13, and it was like I was like, oh, come on, don't make me sweat this 5, right? And then I think it was like the coaching staff was thinking the same thing. It was crazy. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Like, why the fuck? You're right. Why was he on the court? It was a double-digit lead. I mean, they were playing scary basketball at the end.
Okay, if it's a close game. Okay, Kawhi's a tough hombre, and if it's a close game, sure, let him try to gut through it, play through it, because you need him on the floor, at least if anything, to keep the defense honest. But we're talking 15-point lead with 4 minutes to go, and he's still playing out there for another couple minute or so. I think it was finally 3 minutes or so, just under that, where he came out of the game. And by then he was already hobbling around the court for the last 2-3 minutes. I'm not saying that is why he's not playing tonight, but it couldn't have made it any better, those extra couple minutes that he was needlessly on the court at the end of that game. If anything, it made it worse. That's a terrible job by Lue in that spot. You got to know how significant Kawhi is to your basketball team, knowing that this is still a tough series ahead, and you got to play in Utah 2 more times. So brutal job by him. I thought he should have been off the court earlier than that. No question, a stupid move, but nevertheless, now he's got to deal with it with no Kawhi Leonard in Game 5 tonight and possibly beyond as well, which would be very, very troubling if you're the LA Clippers. But we will get to that game in just a second. That's rant number 1 for me. Rant number 2 is this Milwaukee Bucks disaster that I saw last night. I mean, you talk about ways to screw up a basketball game. First of all, Kevin Durant, he was going nuts. When he gets in that zone, he's tough to defend. But don't you want to put the defensive player of the year, Giannis, on him at some point? Like, or either Giannis is scared shitless to try to defend the guy. I don't know which one it is, but if you'd want to, skulk around the court, act like you're some big-time guy in the paint that's a defensive monster, maybe you might want to try to guard the best shooter on the team that's killing you right now at some point. That's just a thought. It's just a thought, Yanni, that maybe you might want to do that every now and then and try to defend Kevin Durant at some point during the game instead of poor PJ Tucker getting killed and his brains beat in all night long by Kevin Durant. That's just a thought. Oh, another thought too, Giannis, when you're going up against a pathetic defender on one leg and James Harden with 1.5 minutes to go in the game, you might not want to settle for a step back Jimmy. You might want to actually take the thing to the rim against a guy like that because he's not 100%. He's not even a good defender when he is healthy, James Harden. That was a sign to me that this guy doesn't have that killer instinct. He doesn't have that thing in the pit of his gut that says, you know what, I'm going to get this shit done for my basketball team. That's what that showed me. You got James Harden, who's not even a good defender, who's not even 100%, and you're going to settle for a little step back, little jump shot instead of using that frame, drawing contact, drawing a foul,
Yeah.
What a horrendous
Take it to the rack, baby.
was that he did that for Milwaukee. Brutal. Yeah, go ahead, Connor.
No, I was just saying he needs to take that to the rack instead of, I just, like you're saying.
Yeah, he has the Ben Simmons issue, though. He don't want to go to the free throw line really either. He's not as bad as Big Ben, but he don't want to be there.
That's
he don't want to be there. He's not.
Yeah, but you could still finish and at least get an and one.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I know you don't want to get fouled. Oh, and why don't you want to get fouled, Yanni? Oh, yeah, you suck ass at the free throw line.
Yeah.
You can't make a free throw if it was the last thing you could do.
Yeah, he starts off attacking, but then eventually he gets a free throw line, airs a free throw or two, barely hits the rim, and that motherfucker starts to pull up a little bit more often, if you notice. I mean, hey, it's common with free throw shooters, honestly. Ben Simmons the same way. He attack, dunk on the motherfucker, get a couple layups. He goes to the free throw line, airs a free throw. Now, all of a sudden, he's not attacking as much. It's like, come on, man, But yeah, I agree with you, Ian. Are you done with your rant on Milwaukee?
I am. And one last thing I'm going to say he's fucked then, Giannis. For maybe the rest of this series, because he can't make a mid-range shot or a three-point shot right now at all in this series, and now he's scared to go to the rim because he might get fouled and he can't make a free throw. So which is it? What are you going to do? Are you going to make some kind of play to put the ball in the basket? Are you going to start making shots, or are you going to start making free throws? Take your pick. It's got to be one or the other. If he keeps struggling with his mid-range game, and if he keeps struggling with his three-point shot, and now he's scared as shit, to get fouled and take it to the rim because he knows he's going to shoot free throws and he can't make any, what the hell is he going to be doing for you offensively? Seriously, it's a legit concern right now with the Milwaukee Bucks moving forward in this series. And the fact they let that game just totally piss away, and now they're down 3-2, they're in some big-time trouble. And I don't care that Harden didn't do much. He gave them an emotional lift. You got Durant feeling good now. I don't think Irving's a non-factor now. I think now they can still beat Milwaukee even without Irving. And I love Charles Barkley and what he said last night. Look, Charles has some issues too. His guarantees suck. I know that when he does the guarantee, it doesn't work out for him. I get all that. But what he said about the Bucks was spot on in the postgame last night. I wouldn't serve those dudes food on the plane on the way home, he said, after that kind of loss. He's absolutely 100% right. That was that bad of a loss. You did everything wrong. Giannis doing everything wrong. Giannis Butterfinger Kumpo, as I called him on Twitter. Turnover at the worst time. Couldn't hang on to the basketball. It was just a terrible second half. Terrible. And it's a sign that the Bucks, maybe they're not ready to win big games. They're not ready to be clutch in the playoffs. That's what I learned from last night. And they got 2 games to show me that they've changed, or else they're going home once again. And Budenholzer, if you don't win this series, Budenholzer, you're out. Simple as that. You're done here in Milwaukee. You're done if you don't win this series. Dutch, what did you think of last night? I know it was good from a prop standpoint because Durant killed it and you killed it betting him.
Yeah, man, it was a good night. I can't lie. Shout out to Wyatt Chapman, Sharpie in the chat. I see you, Chong Lee, everybody in the chat. Much love. Yeah, when it comes, do real quick, hit that motherfucking like button, just like we hit that plane. Hit it real quick, we much appreciate it. Yeah. So when it comes to, like my man True said, shout out to the True. When it comes to that game, I'll be quick, man. It was a beautiful thing. Really, all I can think about is K motherfucking D. God damn, was that? Milwaukee, yeah, man, they lost the game, but KD took that shit from them. 49, 15 or 17 and 10. People say don't pass the ball. He got you 10 assists just for that. The motherfucker was rebounding. And if you watch the game, he was attacking early, and then he started pulling up. Then he got me my threes late. But he was attacking early, which I like to see. Milwaukee, they did what they do. They crumble. If I said yesterday on the show, if I had to make a play, it would be Milwaukee first half. They handle business real easy first half, and then they do what they do. I believe they're favored by 5. We'll talk about tomorrow. But yeah, man, it's all about Kevin motherfucking Durant, bro. He took that game himself. Big time moments. Big players shine, and he's a big time player, man. That's all. That's really what it comes down to. And I went to sleep happy because of Kevin Durant. So thank you, my dude.
Yeah, and we shouldn't lose sight of the fact, including me. I know most of the rant's been on. It was on what Milwaukee didn't do. Let's talk about what Brooklyn did, and specifically Kevin Durant. He was just amazing, triple-double. The shot, the cold-blooded 3 that he hit with under a minute to go. The shot clock winding down. How sick was that, man? Yeah. Unbelievable. Like a defender, Middleton, I think, was on him there and absolutely just drained it right between the eyes, right in the old flamethrower, the old drops the anvil, as Kevin Harlan would say. And that's exactly what Kevin Durant did at the end of that game. Just a brilliant, magnificent performance by him last night, leading the Nets to victory. Connor, your final thoughts on the game from last night?
Hey, Nets won. I was all over it. And dude, KD was just huge. The Durantula, I mean, he just came out, just killed it. And Harden, yeah, he kind of was a decoy. I mean, he shot it. He doesn't look right, but he's going to play again from what I'm hearing. Irving's out. And I think he does better. I mean, he shot it bad last night. He was like 110, and I forget exactly the stats, but at least he was out on the floor, giving it, his effort. The Bucks had it early. I mean, just the crumble late. But like you said, Dutch, big time player. KD, he's got the rings, and he took it to him last night. Nets won easy.
All right, we got the games tonight. We'll start with Atlanta and Philadelphia here. Game 5. We have a series now thanks to a second-half comeback by the Atlanta Hawks in Game 4, down to a best-of-3. We have Philadelphia, 7-point home favorites currently here in Game 5. The total right now, 223.5 in this game. Look, Joel Embiid's health is definitely first and foremost concern for anybody betting this game. How healthy, how effective is he going to be with that knee, that meniscus that's still, hampering him a little bit? It was a terrible second half for him in Game 4, 0 for 12. How about that? Didn't make a shot from the field in Game 4 in the second half, Joel Embiid. However, I like what Shaq said last night, and he made a good point too. They were on fire last night, the TNT panel, making good points. And Shaq said this: if you're Joel Embiid, put the injury aside. You're back home. You're against a team where you have advantages inside against. Dominate. Enough with the excuses. Enough with the pain. You can still move around out there. Dominate tonight against Atlanta. You should. I'm going to bank on him being better and healthier than maybe people think tonight going into this game. And the money's come in on Philadelphia. It makes me think that there's other people that think Joel Embiid's probably healthier tonight than maybe he was the other night. And I think he's going to have a big game tonight. I really do. I think it's time for him to – I think unlike Giannis, this guy truly is capable of showing that he can play big in a big game in a big spot. He's had some tough years in the playoffs the last couple. I think he's ready. I think he'll go over his point total. It's definitely my favorite player prop in this game, Joel Embiid over points. I think he's got that mental fortitude this year, unlike last year where it's a big game. My team needs me. I'm going to go out and own the court tonight. I think he's going to have that kind of mindset here tonight. I would not be interested in going against Philly tonight. 15-9-1 against the spread off a loss. They are 11-2-1 against the spread. Their last 14 at home off a loss. So at home off a loss has been money in the bank backing the Sixers team. So as much as Atlanta gutted it out, came back and won Game 4 at home, I don't want any part of them tonight. It would be the favorite or nothing for me. As far as the total goes, it's tough. With the totals in this series, we've seen, a couple unders lately. And this one might stay under too. You would think Philadelphia is going to want to play better defense. I think if I was going to look at an over, I might look at a Philly team total over rather than the full game over. So that's the way I would lean with that. But really more than anything, guys, I'm just hammering Embiid tonight from a prop standpoint. That's my favorite bet, side total or player props in this game, is Joel Embiid to bounce back super strong after Game 4, and I think he'll be healthier tonight as well. What do you think, Dutch? We'll start with you here. Game 5, Hawks and Sixers.
Yeah, shout out to Gravy Bets. Big Zoe, saying that Embiid had his worst game of the year. Yeah, I'm right with you, man. We'll touch on that prop because I'm all over it. And I think he said 32 in there. If you go to BetMGM, it's 29.5 at minus 115. I checked that briefly before the show just to make sure it's still there. I love that look. I mean, Embiid, he's still at 21 rebounds, so he's still going hard. But when it comes to Embiid, I don't want him thinking he's Kevin fucking Durant. You're Joel Embiid. Get on the post and get the ball on the block and use your weight and go at him. He only had 8 free throws. He was 8 for 8, but he only had 8 free throws in Game 4, which is telling me he wasn't as aggressive as he's been in the previous games, considering he's had 15 or more free throws in each game prior to that. So what I want him to do is catch the ball on the block. Now, I don't mind him shooting a three or two here or there. I don't want him doing no fucking pump fakes and driving, getting offensive fouls, trying to create fouls, like doing pump fakes. None of that shit. I mean, if he's trailing and he gets open 3, go ahead. But other than that, you should be on the block. We need 15 to 20 free throws a game, and he should be easily 30-plus tonight. I do like Philly first half. They're +7 in the series, first half in the series. They're 4-1 ATS in their last 5 at home versus Atlanta. I expect them to handle business. I mean, they're fucking 33-8 at home. That's what they've been doing all year. I don't know how you could not go with, Philly here. Atlanta's 3 games over 500 on the road. I know they've been better since McMillan took over, but they're just not that. They just don't play that good of basketball on the road. And you got Philly, who pretty much laid an egg in that second half. They know it. Nothing's really changed about this game, about this series. Philly can still do what they want offensively. So like we talked about, everything that you mentioned about Embiid, he's definitely not fucking Giannis. He's got all the tools in the book to show out tonight. I believe he will. I mean, he went 4 of 20 from the field off 17 points in that game. He'll bounce back. Got kind of raked through the coals a little bit. I expect Joel to show out. Also looking at Ben Simmons, over 7.5 assists, minus 115. You might be able to find, minus 105. Double plus 150. Not mad at that. And also, if you want to drop a little, cush money on my guy Ben Simmons at triple doubles plus 800. I think he's gonna have a game tonight, but I'm gonna focus more on the assist over 7.5. He's had 7 or more in all 4 games. Just attack and move the ball. And 7-8 assists should be no problem for Big Ben. And that's where I'm really looking at. I'm locking in that first half minus 3.5. I think it's 4 now. I pretty much just think this is a Philly spot. I'm not mad at the 7 full game, but it's getting up there now. But I definitely like the 3.5, 4 first half with Philly. They should answer the bell, so to say, tonight at home.
Yeah, ring the bell, answer it. All of those phrases. Yeah, we hope Philly will do that tonight. Bring that shit to the home floor. Ring that bell. Exactly. I'm with Zoe on the Seth Curry props as well. Over 14.5 points. Over 2.5 threes. Over 2.5 threes on Seth Curry. He's hitting 45% from 3-point range here in the postseason. So I think he can get to 3 made 3-pointers tonight in this game once again. 2.5 with just a little juice, minus 130, 35. I like Seth Curry over 2.5 threes, over 14.5 points. I like Ben Simmons a little bit, the points, rebounds, and assists as well, because I think this is a feast inside game for the Sixers tonight. So I don't mind that. I like Embiid. Embiid points is my absolute favorite player prop in this game tonight, but I like Simmons a bit and Curry as well for the Sixers. As far as Trae Young, I like assists more than points because, look, he's struggling with his shot a little bit right now. So for Trae Young, assists is the path I would prefer rather than points for him with his player prop tonight. Connor, what do you think here, Atlanta, Philly?
I'm with you here, Dutch. I think they bounce back. One thing with Embiid is I don't even think he's that hurt. They talked about his knee. He just gets all sour and starts limping around because he went 0 for 12. Because he likes to pout on the floor and shit. You know how he is. So I think the knee is pretty good too. I like his points as well. I'm on the first half, 3.5. There's a lot of 4s now. Because, full game, 7. Just playoffs, it could get weird. I'm on that first half. I like the Simmons double-double. I already had that written down, plus 150. And that was it. The other side, the Hawks maybe look to hurt or Gallinari over 11.5. I'm probably not going to play it. But those were only props I was looking at here. Shout out to Billy. Likes Korkmaz tonight. A couple 3-pointers. We'll see if gets down.
Let's see it, Billy.
Furkman Korkmaz. It's one of my favorite names in the NBA. Furkman Korkmaz for the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah, he has. He's played better, especially this series. He's definitely stepped it up offensively for Philadelphia. Someone's going to have to step it up defensively for that matter, for the Clippers. No Kawhi Leonard as they head to Salt Lake City for Game 5 against the Utah Jazz tonight. We're now seeing the Jazz up to 7.5 point home favorites. The adjustment being made with Kawhi being ruled out, and the total bet down in this game all the way to about 220.5 is what we're seeing here now in terms of the total. To me, I don't trust the Clippers without Kawhi. I just don't. I don't know, though, if I'm ready to lay 7.5 with Utah. That's the question going into this game. But I certainly don't want any part of the Clippers. So let's put it that way right now. It's just, I don't know. I don't like betting bad number. Like you could have Utah -3, at one point. Then Kawhi's ruled out, and now you're laying 7.5. I just don't know if it's the value I like. But I can't get behind the Clippers. The total's tricky now as well. So it's mostly a player props game for me, this one. I think Donovan Mitchell back home, big game from him. I think you see him step up. I like his prop a little bit over the total. I think it means more for Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson's the guy. He's got to bring it offensively now for the Clippers, and we know he's capable. He's done that so far in these playoffs. So I'm looking at Mitchell on the Jazz I'm looking at Jackson on the Clippers for over points in this game tonight. I think Utah definitely wins this basketball game, but I don't know. There's something about laying 7.5 with them. I'm not totally in love with that. It's even climbing to 8 in some spots, according to our guy Nathan Schallhammer in the chat here. So keep an eye on that. Maybe you can go first quarter, first half on the Jazz instead. I definitely think they win the basketball game, but I'm just going to stop short of laying 7.5 with them. Although obviously we know with Kawhi Leonard out, it's going to be a big blow. Look, Paul George has to be playoff P. This is his chance to shut up the critics, shut up the naysayers, but I just don't know if I can bank on him with my own money, my own cash to come through in a big situation because we have not seen him do that in the past. It's going to have to be Reggie Jackson giving support, Marcus Morris. You need guys like this stepping up here in this game and moving forward for the Clippers if they're going to be able to withstand the absence of Kawhi. And we know Kawhi's out tonight, and he could be out beyond Game 5 tonight. So this is definitely something that is alarming if you're the Clippers moving forward. But more than anything, Mitchell and Jackson player prop overs is what I'm looking at here tonight in this game from a player props perspective. Not much more other than that. Paul George's point total is 28.5. Could he get there? Maybe. But again, do I want to bank on him being as the primary guy? No, I'm not ready to do that just yet. What do you think here, Dutch? Clippers and Jazz?
Yeah, man, it's real unfortunate because Kawhi was about to, I was really liking this Clippers team the way they're playing basketball, but Kawhi's a big piece. Real quick, my guy Eric Chang, our guy, he says Utah first quarter. I'm definitely feeling that. I see all Kevin Riley with the Pineapple Express. I like it. But yeah, man, when it comes to this game, it's Utah all day. This is the spot now. I feel the same way about Utah I did about the Clippers in LA. With no Kawhi, I mean, that shit is just a smack in the face. It's like, they're all the whole Clippers team is looking in the mirror like, fuck. They know
we got to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like me,
shit. We got to do this shit.
We actually have to work now. Yeah.
You could have took Batum. Yeah. You could have took 2 of them motherfuckers. Take them all, but you got to take Kawhi, not the Claw. I mean, that shit, it hurts, bro. Like, it hurts us as a fan in the Capitol. Imagine, they believe me, they feel that shit, and they're going to feel it tonight. Take note. Utah will be on that ass from start to finish. Already locked in first quarter -2, first half -3.5. Love it. I'm not gonna lock in that 7, but they will win this game by double digits. I believe it's at 4 a lot. Shout out to my guy Lucky Power. Yeah, man, but they're gonna handle it, man. And big thing that stands out to me, first of all, Utah's the shit at home. They've already won this, covered both games at home. With Kawhi in the fucking lineup, didn't play that good of basketball, to be honest with you. And if you watched Game 4, Utah was clicking in that third quarter. They played a great third quarter, was moving the ball, playing Utah basketball. But LA just kept making them. Paul George, Kawhi, they just kept making it, kept extending it to 17, 18. I think they're going to carry that over a little bit, and we'll see more of a moving. They had 19 assists in that game, which was the most assists they've had in this series. Move the ball. Donovan, you don't have to score 35 or 40. You got shooters all around you. Move the fucking ball. I don't want to see no ISO shit. Just move the ball. Big guy, I think, that's had 19 in his last 3 games. He's got 4. He had 4 threes in game 2. 5 and 3 and 4 is Joe Ingles, Joe Smo, you know what I mean? However the fuck you call it. But yeah, he's going over 12.5 points. Shop around, look and see the juice, but over 12.5. Like I mentioned, 19 points in each of the last 3 games. I look for Joe Ingles to definitely continue to do that. And where this actually matchup breaks down to me, obviously it's I'm on Utah hard because of Kawhi being out. But what we need is Jordan Clarkson to fucking do his thing. In the 2 games that they won against the Clippers, he's averaging 21 points. In the 2 games that they lost in LA to the Clippers, he's got 22 total. 11 points ain't going to cut it from Jordan Clarkson. You got to get me 18 to 20. I'm not going to bet the prop, but get me right around 18 to 20, bro, and we're going to clean it house. Joe Ingles over points. Motherfucking take note, first quarter and first half. Easy motherfucking money. Believe it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Liking Joe Ingles. Hello, mate. Looking like a little Joe Ingles, player props for the Utah Jazz tonight. And also liking them early, first quarter, first half. I definitely lean. I know Skee Prophet, he's away at a doctor's appointment today. He'll be back tomorrow. He's been liking these first half overs in this series. I got to believe he's looking at that again tonight, potentially.
Skee's out getting a CP3 jersey. Don't let him lie to you. Yeah. Maybe
Very
a Devin
true.
Booker too, if he can get the 2-for-1 special, bro.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to become CP3's biggest fan and help him out, get it back on the floor at some point for the Western Conference Finals against either the Clippers or the Jazz. But yeah, Joe Ingles is a good one. He shoots better at home. I thought he shot well down the stretch in Game 4 against the Clippers, even on the road. Like he made some big shots to keep them afloat there and help us with that Utah plus 20.5 spot that we were on in game the other night. So liking what Joe Ingles has done here for the Jazz, shooting the ball.
His threes are over 2.5. I believe it's plus money. I'll probably take a shot at that too. I was actually waiting for his lines. I was looking for it all day, and it wasn't there until about at least an hour ago before the show. I didn't see any Joe Ingles props, but I had liked that, since Game 3 or Game 4.
Yeah, I'm on Roy. Actually, I am on another one. I like Mitchell. I said I like Jackson. I like Royce O'Neal. So thank you for someone mentioning that in the chat. Ray Charles. No, who did it? Nathan mentioned O'Neal. Over 7.5 points. He's gotten to beyond this number more times than not in the playoffs. And now at home, I think you're going to see him make more of an offensive impact. So I'm with Nathan there. Over 7.5 points for Royce O'Neal of the Utah Jazz. Not Royce the 5'9". Royce O'Neal for the Utah Jazz tonight in this game. What do you think here, Conor Mac? Clippers and Jazz. Is this trouble for the Clippers?
I think so. Down the line, I'm leery. Right when I heard the news at 6 this morning, when I was up, I locked it in the first half, 3.5. But I got to think. The more I think about it, I think the Jazz at home, they're dominant. I'm a little leery. You got to think the Clippers are looking at themselves in the mirror, but they're probably like, we need to step up. So maybe they come out a little, fired up. We'll see. I don't know. So I already put that bet in. Now it's at 4. But we'll see. The props, I still like Mitchell. I'm not going to bet that there's over 33.5. The last few games, he's still getting it. Royce O'Neal is over 7.5 points. It's juice now, minus 135, but he at least gets 8, 12, 10. All those guys will be better. Bogdanovich, Ingles, they shoot better at home, and they'll just shoot a ton of threes, and more will go down. So, yeah, full game. I didn't take it. I just took that this morning. That's all I really had here. I think Morris over 1.5 threes at plus 140 was a good look from the Clippers. They're going to have to hit shots. Kawhi's out. So all those guys, Jackson, look to their props maybe a little bit. Even PG and Paul George, he's going to have to shoot probably 8 or 9 threes, 10 threes. Can he hit 3 of them? That's plus money over 2.5. So maybe those were some Clipper props I was going through today.
Yeah, and it's not so much what George does in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. If Kawhi remains out in the series, it's what's he do in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter in a close game. That's where this guy never seems to get a big shot for you or make a big play for you. That's where you need to see him get it done more than any other, situational time in the game. So something to keep an eye. Lit Picks in the chat saying ice tray, as in Trae Young will be cold tonight, not in a good way. Ooh, so expecting a bad night for him. You're as cold as ice, willing to sacrifice my shot. Maybe we're going to see that from Trae Young tonight.
Ray Charles. Yeah, Ray Charles says, the blowout is, in this late game. So I mean, highly likely. I think that is very highly likely. That's why I only have one prop, because I think Joe Ingles will be on the court. He plays, pretty much he gets his minutes. So I think that this could very well be a 15, 20-point game in the third. But, Utah has got their ass smacked 2 back-to-back games. They're looking, believe me, they're gonna come out hungry. I see that. I don't see them overlooking it. And, you got Reggie Jackson, you got these guys, but Kawhi's too big, man. He's too big of a
Jazz are great at home. They're just a great home team. Like that building.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they've been their point spread record at Vivint Arena there in Salt Lake this year is just incredible, and they're going to be like those sharks probably with the once they smell that chum in the water, and there they go. They go after it. They're on the attack, and you might see that from Utah. Blood in the water.
They won't be 0 for 20 like they were in Game 1 in the first quarter. I'll say that. I'll go out on a limb and say that.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll shoot just a little bit over on that percentage tonight for sure. Great stuff, Connor and Dutch. We'll get to best bets, Dutch's freshest look in just a second. But right now, some messages as always from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101, San Antonio. When you're in town, stop in, have a bite to eat, good drinks and live music, DJs at karaoke, which is right up my alley. Southtown 101 in San Antonio. Check that out. Manscaped, promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase. The all-new and improved Lawnmower 4.0 is available, so you can take 20% off that purchase with the promo code PubSports with Manscaped. And MyBookie.ag, promo code PubSports. We got NHL, NBA playoffs, MLB. We've got U.S. Open golf, Torrey Pines tomorrow. I can tell you, Patrick Reed, Adam Scott, Jason Kokrak, Brian Harmon. You're talking about some live shots there in terms of that tournament. I'm looking at a bunch of those. Bet those at mybookie.ag as well. We've got NFL in a couple of weeks. So, it's 2 months away from preseason. Football will be here before you know it. Never too soon to take a look at mybookie.ag. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit. Mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. All right, it is that time of the show. Best bets and Dutch's freshest look. Conor Mac, we'll start with you. Best bet, what do you like tonight?
Well, I can't bullshit with you guys. I mean, I locked it in. I already told you this morning at 6 a.m. when I heard the news with Kawhi. So it's 4 now. I still think it's fine. I took the Jazz -3.5 first half. I think they come out the buildings rocking, and they got to step on their throat, and I think they do early.
Yeah, no Kawhi, 2 straight losses on the road, back home in front of that crazy home crowd in Utah. Probably a good situation for the Jazz to get out on the front foot fast and quickly in this one. First half -4 Utah. Best bet for Conor Mac. Dutch, what do you got? Freshest look.
Yeah, man, the freshest look. Hey, me and C-Mac, we in the same rotation because that is my highest unit of the day. And we're going to Utah. Most definitely first half, -3.5, -4, whatever you can get. They're going to handle business early and often. We're going to be smoking to the motherfucking Jazz music all night, all motherfucking night long, early and often. If you want the first quarter, get it -2. Get the first half, -3.5 or 4. Jazz handling business.
There you go, Jazz, as well. First half for Dutch with his freshest look. Mine's going to be a player prop from that same game. I'm going to go with the value, and the value is this guy somehow finds his way to 8 or more points, and he's a 7.5 again tonight. Royce O'Neal, Utah Jazz, over 7.5 points for my player prop tonight. He's been getting over this number routinely. Very, very good value in my mind. He'll shoot better at home, like most of the supporting cast does for most of these teams. They just feel more comfortable in the home gym than they do on the road. So I expect more of the same for Royce O'Neal tonight, over 7.5 points. That will be my best bet for this Wednesday night NBA slate. And that'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Pub Hub. Hope you have a great night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We will see you again tomorrow on Thursday for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio with me, Connor, with Dutch, and with Skee Profit. We'll pull them out of the shopping mall. Stop buying those CP3 jerseys, Skee. Get your priorities straight. Get back on the show right here, NBA Pub Hub with us tomorrow. We'll bring him back. We'll get him out of the stores. Stop buying all the Suns merchandise already. Come on back with us here at the Pub Hub tomorrow. I'm sure we'll see Skee back with us. For Conor Mac and Dutch, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the NBA Pub Hub on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to the chat, the real ones. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share the video with your friends and fam. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest.
We be bugging! Shout it from the rafters.